The Motive Racing YouTube channel. We are back here tonight for the Touring Car Championship here on Project Cars 2. We are coming in towards the decisive part of the season now, with the championship still very much on the line here tonight at Oulton Park. We're on the international configuration tonight, where you've got the very tricky island bend followed by the shallow hairpin, which has caught out many drivers throughout the seasons here at Motive Racing. So hopefully we don't see too many spills there tonight, but nonetheless I will get to the championship standings in just a second coming into tonight. Still a few drivers I think in the mix. I know that John Boy and Jay are quite close. I know that Cobb also not out of it either. So yeah, lots to be decided over the next few rounds of this season. This is one of the three. Obviously there are 3 rounds left. 9 races altogether with 3 races per round. We missed one round. We missed Snetterton earlier this season due to the fact we had to avoid the whole night because my internet was playing up on that particular night. But yeah, still a 14 round season, still 42 races to decide a champion. So you're definitely going to get a lot of mixed results through a season of that length. Plan for next season will be to strip the season down to its original length. Actually no, its original length was 6 rounds. I think we're planning on doing 8 rounds for next season, so a little bit more than what we used to way back, but certainly a much more shorter and sharper season than what we've been doing this season. 15 rounds a bit much, I think, to be honest, especially when there's no breaks. It's a consecutive season. The only reason for that was because I wanted to fit a whole season in before, because I knew we couldn't do 2 short seasons, 2 8-round seasons. It was a choice between 2 6-round seasons with a 2-week break in the middle, or it was do a 15-round season flat out, no breaks. And I went for the latter, and I think that was the wrong decision. I think we should probably have done 2 6s, but nonetheless it's too late for that, and what's done is done. But the result is quite a long season, effectively, which is what we've been all going through over these last few weeks. But I want to thank everybody for joining us live on the YouTube channel. If you guys are enjoying what you're watching here tonight, then please do slap a like on the video. If you're one of the drivers watching this back afterwards, then feel free to share it with your friends, family and otherwise associates. And obviously if you're watching for the first time and you want to get involved, then be sure to go to www.motiveracing.co.uk, which is our new website address. We used to be motiveracing.com, but as of very recently indeed, it's now motiveracing.co.uk, due to the fact that someone stole motiveracing.com. So whoever's out there, whoever did that, thanks ever so much for that. Really do appreciate it. Also, if you're watching the action on the screen and wondering why I appear oblivious to what's going on, it's actually because I'm not currently watching the action. I'm currently on my computer tab just editing a few things so that the stream looks nice and snazzy. But we will be back on watching it in a second, so I'll know exactly what you guys are watching in a moment. But yeah, let's get into it. Right, let's plug the HDMI cable in and let's see what you guys are seeing. So obviously this is a practice session. The grid order will be based on the results from based on the championship standings coming into tonight. So we take a reverse of the championship standings, and that is the order that they'll be starting in for this race. We'll have 1 formation lap before we get underway as well, so that everybody can get themselves into order. Oh, it's John Boy there pinning it over the line. But yeah, that's that then for the practice session. So John Boy, Cobb, Thorist and Team MW, your fastest 4 in practice. But it doesn't really mean a whole lot, and it's going to be, I'm sure, a bit of a switch up from that by the time we get to the end of this first race of the night. I'm just going to quickly run you through the championship standings after drop rounds, because obviously the drivers dropped their 2 worst rounds in the touring cars, actually 2 worst rounds of the season. So John Boy is your championship leader coming into tonight. He is on 748 points. This is after drop rounds, so this is what they will be judged on in terms of their championship finishing positions. John Boy on 748, Jay in second on 714, and you've got Cobb in third on 686. So Cobb is 62 points behind John Boy at this point. looking like it could potentially be a two-horse race between John Boy and Jay. Cobb with a very, very outside chance at this stage in the season. Craig sits in 4th in the standings on 614. He's 72 points now behind Cobb in the championship as well. So Craig a long way behind Cobb. I think Cobb pretty much has got 3rd place in the bag. And if he has a very, very good finish to the season, could get 2nd off of Jay. But Jay also poised in a position to maybe hunt down John Boy for that championship success here this season. Both of them former champions of the touring car division here at Motive as well, Jay and John Boy, so they both know what it takes. Paul Pippi sits in 5th in the standings, and he is on 574 points after the drop rounds. Aussie 6th, not too far behind Park Pooper actually in that battle for 5th in the standings. He's on 556, at 18 points separating those two. And you've got Mike in 7th on 588 points. Mike is dropping tonight. In fact, no, Mike is 5th in the standings on 588 points. But Mike will be dropping tonight, so he will drop no points after tonight actually. So after tonight, his drop score will be 0. So whatever his points are on the board will be what he scores. Because Mike's not here tonight; he's currently on an internship in Belgium. Actually, he's a Dutch boy, but he's currently in Belgium on an internship. Mike, if you're watching, mate, then or if you're watching this back afterwards, then hopefully you're enjoying yourself out there. And thanks for tuning in. If you are, but obviously it's a shame that he's not out on track here tonight. But nonetheless, real life comes first, doesn't it? So, and he's obviously having an opportunity of a lifetime at the moment. But we're currently coming round here on this what I thought was going to be a formation lap, but I think we might have gone here. Have we gone? I'm not quite sure. I think we actually have. Yeah, I think we're racing here. I don't know. It's hard to tell at the moment. No, we are not. We're not racing yet. No. This is still the formation lap. Big Blue was setting off at a slightly mediocre pace, which made me think that it wasn't a formation lap. But it looks like I think we are backing things up. So we're not racing just yet. We're still under formation lap conditions at the moment. Not yet green flag. But Big Blue will be one of the ones to get us underway. Obviously starting on pole, another pole position for Big Blue, and we know what this man's like when he has a clear track in front of him. He's a quick driver, is Big Blue. He's got pace, and when he's got that opportunity to get a march on his opponent, he can do some serious damage here. But Potter Brown in 2nd, likewise with a very high grid position, might have a chance to do something here. Doris Deer behind them in 3rd. You've got Team MW who line up in 4th place ahead of Aussie in 5th, with Park Pooper there, P6, Craig 7th ahead of Cobb in 8th. Jay will line up 9th with John Boy in 10th. There's Ollie in 11th place, and Dirt Rally Pro at the back of the pack here. So here we go. Looks like we're underway. We are racing here. Also, big shout out to Dirt Rally Pro racing in his first race of this season. Actually, we haven't seen him out on track this season. Haven't seen him on track for a while here at Motive. But as we come down towards Cascades for the first time, looks like Big Blue's got a good start. Potter Brown there in 2nd ahead of Doris Deer, 3rd, followed by Team MW, who's got Aussie looking to his inside. They're into Cascades too far back. Park Pooper ahead of Craig, followed by Cobb, Jay, John Boy. Then there's Ollie Moore and Dirt Rally Pro battling it out over 11th place at the moment at the back of the pack, as Ollie went a little bit wide there going out of Cascades, and Dirt Rally Pro might have a chance into Island Bend here. But back to the front, we've got Big Blue still leading ahead of Potter Brown, as he looked like he just got a little bit onto the grass there going through the Island Bend, but Big Blue holds on to it for the time being. Doris Deer looking pretty racy here on the back of Potter Brown as well. I see we're looking to try and make the most of a strong starting position here tonight, and really make use of that here. But they're coming to Britain's here for the first time at racing speeds. No major dramas so far. Nobody's dropped it. Nobody's put it in the wall. Although Doris Deer is looking to the outside here of Potter Brown coming in towards Hislops, and Potter Brown there covering the inside line off. Doris Deer can't get around him for the time being. He's still clinging on to that one very nicely indeed here. Doris Deer on board with him as they come out of Knickerbrook here, and you see there Potter Brown just a little bit onto the curve on the outside. Would have just scrubbed a bit of speed there and lost a little bit of momentum, but for the time being it's all well, and all's well at the moment here. Big Blue, Potter Brown, Doris Deer, 2MW, Aussie Albie, the top 5. There's Craig ahead of Cobb, followed by Jay and John Boy, the 2 championship contenders here, running in 8th and 9th. Cobb obviously an outside contender this season, just ahead of these guys in 7th place. You've got the reserves of Dirt Rally, Ollie running in 10th and 11th places, and Park Pooper has had a moment here at the start of this race. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Park Pooper, but he's running in 12th place, and he's well off at the back of everybody else, so he must have dropped it. It doesn't look like he's got damage though, so he must have kept it out of the wall, whatever happened. But I can see John Boy there swerving to the inside on Jay, trying to get into his head a little bit, just trying to play a few games here by the looks of it is John Boy. On board with him as they come down towards Cascades. Jay for the time being doing everything he has to do, putting his car in the right places here as he gets a bit sideways there does Jay. John Boy's going to try and get a run here coming down Lakeside. He's going to look to the inside, but Jay's going to just squeeze him there, so don't even think about it, John Boy. That's not going to happen. Into the Island Bend we go. He parks it on the inside does Jay. Has to take a tight line there, which would have just caused him to lose a bit of momentum, but he's got it absolutely beautifully parked there through the corner and does it really nicely there. John Boy nowhere to go, can't make the move on him just at the moment. Jay still holding on for 8th place here. The 2 championship contenders. Jay knows he needs to be taking points out of John Boy in pretty much every race from here to the end of the season, as they've got Thorestier getting a bit out of shape coming out of Britain's butt. He's looking to the outside here of Potter Brown, and this is going to be job done here for him. I think it might be Forestier. They're moving through, but it's the Potter Brown very late on the brakes there, going into his stops. They're still side by side here as they come into Nipper. Oh, and Potter Brown moves across there on Thorestier. Thorestier off onto the grass, and he loses a couple of places there. Thorestier down to P6. He might lose out to Cobb as well here. Thorestier just tagging, rubbing doors there with Potter Brown. Potter Brown just cut across him there, said, "No, Thoris, it's not going to happen, mate." As now Ozzy's looking to try and make a move, and Potter Brown and Ozzy there wide. He's gone off onto the grass there, coming out of Druids, and there's Team MW now looking to try and make a move on Potter Brown. They're all trying to make a move on Potter Brown. 2 of them have currently bitten the dust, and Team MW is going to be the first driver to actually do it successfully here, as Potter Brown now is going to lose out to Cobb as well. So Cobb moves himself through up into 3rd place. Jay and John Boy in 5th and 6th places here. Ozzy Albie's dropping down the order as well. So looking like Ozzy and Doris both tried to make a move on Potter Brown, and it seemed like that was just a bit of a cursed manoeuvre there for these drivers. But Big Blue still out the front. 2.5 seconds is his gap over Team MW. Cobb and Potter Brown there running just behind us. We watch them all coming through Cascades here. Dirt Rally's had a very strong debut here so far. He's the fastest man on the last lap there. 39.6 from Dirt Rally. So he's got some pace here in these touring cars. I believe he holds a couple of world records in the V8 supercars on this game. So he knows what he's doing. Or it might not be it might actually be Rallycross, you know, which would make sense when you look at his PSN name. I know he's got a couple of world records on this game, but I can't remember what category it is. But I know he's a driver who knows what he's doing, that's for sure. And currently running in 7th place on the back of this train at the moment. But it's Big Blue stood out the front as they come down the back straight towards Hislops once again. Big Blue with a so decisive lead over the rest of them here, as Dirt Rally having a look to the inside of John Boy there into Hislops, but can't make it happen. It's still as it was before, as they're coming out of Knickerbrook here on lap 4 of the race. This is obviously lap 4 in terms of overall laps, but in terms of the racing laps, this is still lap 3. Potter Brown is just keeping Jay behind him at the moment. John Boy is waiting in the wings as well. You've got a lot of cars here stuck in a train. None of them can make a move here. It's not an easy track to overtake. It's Oulton Park as Potter Brown wide there, coming out of Druids. Can he keep it straight? He needs to keep it straight because he's got oncoming traffic here, as John Boy's going to make a move down the inside into the Lodge corner. Potter Brown there goes late on the brakes, but John Boy's going to have that one done. Surely that's going to be job done here for John Boy. Potter Brown's not giving it up easily though. A bit of a door ban between the 2 of them, and Potter Brown squeezing John Boy towards the pit wall here, but John Boy holding his ground. He loses it, has to concede that one though, as he tucks in behind him for the time being. Dirt Rally in the background trying to make a move on John Boy, can't do anything there. But this is getting a bit chaotic here. Potter Brown ever so wide there, coming out of Old Hall corner. John Boy and Dirt Rally there making the moves there up into 5th and 6th places, and Ozzy making his way through as well there. So Ozzy up into 7th place as Dirt Rally wide there out of Cascades. Gets it horribly wrong going through the middle of the corner. Has he spun it? No, he uses his rallying technique there to his full advantage. It looked like he'd almost lost the car, but obviously instinct took over there from him and he managed to save it. But he's lost some time there. He's down to 8th place here, is Dirt Rally, with that little escapade. Not what you want to be doing around this type of circuit, but nonetheless we're watching the leaders as they're coming through Britain's here on lap 5 of the race, and only real major dramas so far. Dirt Rally with that little escapade, obviously. Ollie, something's happened to Ollie as well. I mean, I know he tried to make the move. No, actually he wasn't. I don't know what happened to Ollie. Doris tried to make the move on Potter Brown and ended up coming off way worse. Ozzy and something's happened here. What's happened here? There's a Monster Energy livery parked. Jay, no, or was that lag? Anyway, Big Blue still out the front as they come through Druids here. And you can see Team MW there has got Cobb just behind him. There's Jay, who's looking very close on the back of Cobb here. Can he make a move into the Lodge corner? John Boy's still behind these guys at the moment, but Jay looking to try and go for a cutback, and he's got a little bit of his car alongside Cobb here as they come down the start finish straight. Is he going to look up the inside in towards Old Hall corner? I think he's going to think about it, but in the end has to wait for the opportunity to come, because Cobb just seems to have better straight line speed going into Old Hall corner, and Cobb's still running in third place at the moment. Cobb though is really coming under pressure here from Jay at this point in the race. Is he going to look to the inside into Cascades? No. Massive lock up there from Jay. Really getting it a bit out of shape there. As Sebastian, my precious Andy, you read the chat. You read my chat. I will do, mate. I will do as soon as I can. Senna in the comments saying hi. Hello, Senna. Welcome along. Senna, one of our coordinators here at Motive, and obviously one of our racers in the F1 League as well. Runner-up in last season's F1 Championship on the EA Sports F1 game here at Motive Racing, and a regular commenter on our streams here as well. But we currently still got the battle at the front. Big Blue has now got Team MW joining him here at the front. Team MW giving Big Blue a bit of company. Big Blue was kind of just riding off into the sunset in the first part of the race, but now the leaders in the prime positions to be able to close that gap. It's Big Blue, Team MW, Cobb, Jay and John Boy, the top 5 here as they come into Hislops. Big Blue's going to have his hands full. If he wants to hold on to this race lead, he'd do well to keep this one with a charging pack of drivers who are more than capable of taking this race win. Cobb is looking like he's almost pushing Team MW along here. Let's ride on board with him as they come into the final sector. Cobb doing his fastest middle sector of the entire race so far. Through Druids we go. Is he going to be able to get a run coming through down towards the Lodge corner? Looks like Team MW getting it nicely turned in there. Cobb's going to have a look here. Team MW just squeezing him very, very fairly as well. Not really, it wasn't a chop, was it? It was more of a squeeze, but he did it very nicely, and he managed to hold on to the position there ahead of Cobb. In the background, Jay seemed like he almost got a bit of a tap there from John Boyd, but they're all keeping it together at the moment. Nicely done. Over the line we come to complete lap 6 of the race, and it is still Big Blue ahead of Team MW, Cobb, Jay and John Boy, and it's no changes at the moment. It's been like this for the last couple of laps here. But what is going to happen over the course of what's probably going to be, well, it will definitely be 3 more laps, including this one. So it'll be a 9-lap race altogether. Big Blue wide there, coming out of Cascades. He just got it a little bit wrong there. Moments like that are going to be what might end up losing him this race. John Boy's got alongside Jay here coming towards Island Bend, but backs out of it. He was not far enough alongside to make that one happen. Jay, for the time being, clings on to 4th place here. The leader's coming through shallow hairpin on lap 7 of the race. Currently getting to a boiling point here. This one, Big Blue's been leading this one since the start. Obviously started on pole position, as we've got Ollie and Ozzy both in the pits here at the end of lap 7, so damage on their cars presumably, which have been affecting their performance quite clearly in this one. But Big Blue leading down towards Hislops as we've got John Boy looking to the inside here of Jay in towards Hislops. Is he going to be able to make this one happen? He has a little feint there. Jay has to defend it, and that's just going to cost them. It's going to cost both of them time, and could potentially lose them the lead pack, which is obviously Big Blue, Team MW and Cobb. But they need to try and keep on to this pack and be there waiting if anything happens in front of them. They just need to be in the right place at the right time, and that's the sort of thing that, you know, if they start scrapping each other, then who knows where they could end up in this race. Dirt Rally in the meantime has picked his way up into 6th place after that bit of an adventure a few laps ago. He's also matching the leaders as well. What could have been for him, he'll be one to watch in the next 2 races here tonight. But watching the top 5 here as they come out onto the start finish straight once again, and Team MW just losing Big Blue a little bit. He's got Cobb very much for company here as John Boy again looking to the inside in towards Old Hall corner, but Jay not taking the bait. He's not being phased in any way, shape or form by those little antics there from John Boy. 2 laps left to go here tonight for this first race of the night here for the touring cars. Obviously 2 races more after this still to go, but still lots of action to be decided, not just in this race but also across the whole night. But at the moment we've got a 5-car train here battling over the lead as they come down towards Island Bend once again. And watching Team MW as he tries to put the pressure here on Big Blue once again. He's mounting an attack on the race leader as he just takes a bit of a tap there going through Shell Oil, and Big Blue there held it together really nicely. Team MW was just being a little bit aggressive there, probing and pushing, trying to make something happen, but he couldn't do it. As they come into Britain's once again, it's still Big Blue from Team MW, Cobb, Jay and John Boy. Still these top 5 running in the exact same order that they have been for about 3 or 4 laps now. And down the straight we come towards Hislops, and Big Blue just looking a bit more comfortable here in this part of the track than he does in that first sector. Team MW is all over the back of him in the first sector, in the middle and the final sectors. He seems to be just slightly more comfortable. And they come out of Knickerbrook once again here, but we've got just over a lap left in this first race of the night. Big Blue's just got to park it in the right place. He's just got to be calm here. make sure that there aren't any gaps forming. He's got to be clean as a whistle here in the final lap of the race. Here we come then down towards Lodge Corner. They're lying astern at the moment. Look at this. Nobody really looking to make that move at this moment. They're going to be biding their time here, but there's only one lap left, so you've got to do it. It's now or never, really, for these drivers. Here we come then, over the line to start the ninth and final lap of this first race of the night. Big Blue sticking to his lines there. Looked like he was just thinking about defending it, but in the end, just reverted back to that normal racing line. We've lost a driver from the first race of the night as well, so somebody's retired. Hopefully they'll join us back for the second and third races here, but on board with Cobb. As we're seeing the two leaders here, Big Blue is a bit wide there going out of Cascades. Team MW's got a nice run here coming down towards Island Bend. Is he going to fancy one into Shell Oil? Doesn't look like he's going to get a good enough run to be able to set himself up for Shell Oil. See, it's Cobb there gets a bit of a tap from Jay, and Jay's going to squeeze through, is he? Or Cobb managing to keep it around the outside, but that's now lost these two a bit of momentum, and that's given Team MW a free crack here at Big Blue. He now doesn't have to worry about what's behind him because he can just focus on trying to take the leader here, but he's got a bad run there to Team MW. Coming out of Britain's, down the straight we come towards the towards Hislops. And it looks like Big Blue might have just been given a bit of a lifeline here with Team MW getting a poor run coming out onto that straight. Obviously, Cobb and Jay having that contact going through Shell Oil. And John Boy there on the rear of this quintet of cars. But are we going to see any position changes? We haven't seen any position changes for the last 5 laps. So, I wouldn't bet on there being a position change in these last few corners, but here we come. Big Blue into Druids for the final time. Team MW still sticking to the back of him. Cobb there manages to hold it going through Druids, and he's going to, I think, stay ahead of Jay here. But it's going to be Big Blue into Lodge Corner. Just needs to keep it together. No mistakes here. Just needs to keep his cool. John Boy a bit of a slide there in 5th place, but it's going to be Big Blue out of Lodge Corner and up towards the line. He's going to take the first win of the night. Here is Big Blue. Really nicely done there. Kept his cool. Stayed composed. Team MW takes 2nd ahead of Cobb in 3rd, followed by Jay 4th and John Boy 5th. Dirt Ruddy over to take P6 in the end, and he's a little way clear of Craig, who's going to come over the line or come out of the final corner here. So it's going to be a 7th place finish here for Craig, and he's a couple of seconds clear of Potter Brown in the end, who'll bring it home for 8th place in this one. Parp Hooper's going to take 9th there, and he's quite a long way clear of Thoristeer in the end. Thoristeer, not the race for him in this first race of the night. I'm sure he'll be fighting back in the next two, but Thoristeer over in P10, and Ollie Marr driving in that battered up yellow BMW. I mean, what on earth has happened there, son? That is, yeah, I mean, I'd say that metal is probably too scrapped to go into a scrapyard, but that is that then, guys, for this first race of the night. Big Blue, Team MW and Cobb, your podium finishers, and we'll be back shortly for the second race, about 5 minutes. That link will be on Discord. Join us then.